I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and I am joined here by one of Prodigy's founding owners in Phil Arthur. And Phil, I know you just got to Blue Ribbon Pines. Prodigy's
We've got a new product called the BP3. It's an entry-level backpack bag. It holds, 15 discs is what we put in comfortably. I've put in 20 and it was fine, but it's a $30 price point retail. MSRP is $30 from us. So it's an incredible little bag for the money.
I would say so. $30 for an entry-level backpack style bag. You've also had a few recent disc releases. Tell us about those.
The A4 and the D6, both discs are incredible. We've got a lot of great reviews with the A4. It's kind of an approach. We in between a mid-range and a putter. Okay. It's a great flying disc, and the D6 was a disc that a lot of people have been asking us for, and it's a driver that for lesser arm speeds can get it to flip up and get a full flight out of it. I've heard some great reviews from players that are really enjoying that. I personally love the disc. I throw pretty hard, and it's become a disc that is extremely predictable on the long turns and rollers for myself.
All right. Well, and it's great to have your support. We have to talk about Prodigy was one of the very first companies that wanted to sponsor and get on board with the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Now, we haven't seen you necessarily on site at some of these events. You doing all that work back at the office? Is that what you got going on?
There's a lot of work. We've got a lot of moving parts, and it's just a constant go. It's an exciting time. We enjoy it, and I thrive on being busy, so I can't complain. But between the manufacturing, production, and just the distribution of all the new products, we're busy, and that's why I'm pretty much staying in Atlanta. But I'm glad to be here and looking forward to the weekend.
Well, it's Phil Arthur of Prodigy Disc. We appreciate the support here at the Disc Golf Pro Tour. This is Terry Miller in Circle Zero. I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and I'm joined by Steve Dodge and Chuck Kennedy here at Circle Zero. Steve, what's going on?
Well, today we've got a special guest, Chuck Kennedy from the PDGA. He's our on-site analyst, and Chuck's done some amazing analysis of the field here at the Majestic.
Chuck, who's going to win this thing?
Do you want to see how we did it?
I want to know.
You want to know? All right. Well, the short answer, Ricky Wysocki, Katrina Allen. Those are what the computer picks based on the stats.
So I've got to say, this was meant to be a 3 to 5 minute segment, and that was awesome. Next.
You want to know the top 5?
Oh, wow. Actually, what I'd like to know is how did you come up with that? What factors are you factoring in?
Well, what I'm looking at is taking the PDGA player ratings and taking the top 30 men and the top, I think that we had 16 women signed up. And I'm entering in their current player ratings. And we also have the behind the scenes stats on the players, their standard deviation, which tells how consistent they are as players. And what I've done is added some additional factors to that to account for the differences that you have in a specific event. For example, perhaps a home field advantage for some players, making a tweak based on the type of course, making a tweak based upon what is their current trend in the rating, because recall that your regular player rating is your last 12 months, but that may not be how you're playing, say, in the last couple months or events. So all of those adjustments were taken into account, crunched 10,000 times in a simulation, and spitting out the probabilities then for who would win.
I hope we're able to watch that 10,000 iterations. Terry, could you pull up a shot of that?
Yeah, here it is.
Nice.
I can't believe that only took 5 seconds.
Oh man, amazing. Yeah, well, these hot computers these days.
In D&D, when I was rolling those dice, it would have taken a lot longer.
Right,
5 seconds to do
exactly,
10,000
yes.
iterations.
Yes, you dungeon master you.
Yes.
Chuck, you even account for things, as you mentioned, home field advantages, but even something like a medical adjustment. Did you account for the most recent, which was Ricky Wysocki posting on Thursday afternoon that he had a wasp sting and went to the ER in the last 48 hours?
I didn't account for that at this point, but we might have to take a look at that before we publish the final numbers.
Would we be able to factor that in and at the end of this segment show a redo, another iteration?
Well, for that matter, we could say right now, I do have a medical adjustment of -6 rating points for Paul Macbeth. Now, we don't know exactly for sure because he hasn't been totally clear about it. He's indicated he had some issues in the past. But again, as a handicapper, you sort of have to go on hunches here and there. So I have actually put that in there for Paul Macbeth. Now, Ricky's is, very current at this point. We're talking about a superficial injury. Maybe it's not as big, so maybe we put in a -3 points here into the simulation. And
Does he still win?
I just ran the simulation. Let's see what happens here.
5 seconds later.
Yes, we do. We have Mr. Wysocki is still, right now, just to give you an instance on the odds, it's basically Ricky against the field. In other words, it's
50-50.
a 50-50, 1-to-1 odds with Ricky against the field is what we came up with this simulation.
So Chuck, you've got the top 5 people.
I do.
And what the percentages are that are going to end up there. Terry, without knowing much about anything and
Ever.
doing basically no analysis ever, can you tell us who you think the top 5 are according to Chuck's probabilities?
Well, Chuck, you mentioned things like home field advantage. A local boy done good. That's obviously Kale Aviska. He's a solid player. Alex Geisinger has done well throughout the last few years. But then you got to put Paul and Ricky. I don't care what field they're on, what country they're in. You got to put those two up there. So those would be all my adjustments. And then I know Nate Doss, I was talking to him earlier. He's won this event before as well. So you got to give someone like him an edge somewhere out there.
So I'm going to go with those exact same first 4, but instead of Nate, I'm going to throw Bradley Williams in there because of Chuck's factor of who's trending up. So Chuck, you want to tell us your top 5?
Well, when I run these simulations, my top 5 come out as Ricky Wysocki, Paul Macbeth, Alex Geisinger, Eagle McMahon, hasn't been mentioned by you two, and when I run the simulations, it flip-flops between Kale Aviska and Paul Ulibarri. They're neck and neck on the stats here with regard to how this has been done.
Yuli is definitely trending up.
There we
That
go.
is absolutely
So-
the case.
And on the women's side, our top 3 or top 5 women?
Okay. We have Katrina Allen at the top, and I understand Paige Pierce has signed up, so she's in the mix as second. Sarah Holcomb third, Valerie Jenkins fourth, and Des Redding fifth. And they are so far ahead from an odds standpoint that there's not even somebody close.
So those are the 5.
Yeah, for top 5,
Top
right.
5, okay.
Well, there
Right.
you have it. Well, that's Steve Dodge. That's our on-site stats analyst, Chuck Kennedy. And Chuck, with your numbers, I don't even know why we play the game.
I'm Steve Dodge. This is Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy. Now let's go to Johnny, who's interviewing somebody who did very well in the fantasy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Circle Zero, the Disc Golf Pro Tour Minnesota Majestic preview show. I'm John Van Dersen. I'm here with Chris Lopez. Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself.
From Mesa, Arizona. Just caught on to this fantasy thing, so here to talk about that.
Awesome. So now, for those of you that aren't aware, the fantasy thing that he's talking about is the Disc Golf Pro Tour Fantasy Disc Golf Picking. What that is, you can go to discgolfprotour.com/fantasy.html, I believe it is. I don't even know if you need the HTML part, but what the players are doing is they are picking where the players will finish based on the Pro Tour ranking. So it's not a typical fantasy like I've stated before. What you do is if Ricky Wysocki, who's currently rated second in the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings, if you think he's going to finish better, you say second or better. You know, Paul Ulibarri, who's in fifth, you pick fifth or better or worse or however it's going to finish up. And what Chris here has done apparently is he picked 9 for 9 in the Silver Cup Challenge. So we're interested to see and hear what Chris has to say. So Chris, tell us a little bit about your picks for this upcoming Minnesota Majestic.
So for the Majestic, I just think Paul's due for a win. First off, I agree with Steve. I listened to his thing online the other day where he still thinks that Paul's number one, I guess, if you want to call it world rankings. and I just think he's due for a win. So I'm definitely going with Paul for the win with a close battle with Wysocki. But I really think that Uli has been playing strong, and I think he's going to be right up there.
That's funny. I literally just got a message from Yuli a couple hours ago because we do our own little fantasy picks on Smashbox, and he picked himself at 5th behind Nate Doss and somebody else. I'm not exactly sure. So I'm glad to see that you have more confidence in Yuli than Yuli does.
Yeah, that's not good.
But he's also been burned a few times picking himself over some other players. But I told him I had faith in him as well. So you have no surprise, the coin flip of kind of Ricky or Paul this year. I mean, they've been within strokes of each other most of the year.
You always got to count Alex in.
You have Alex Geisinger, who I don't believe is he ranked on the fantasy right now? Does he have a top 10 ranking?
I believe so.
Okay, so you picked Alex to finish better. Who else do you have?
I got Eagle finishing worse than you guys have him. I think his game's strong, but he's struggling a little bit. So I got him finishing worse. Sorry, Eagle.
He's used to it.
I also got Nate Doss finishing worse than you guys have him. And Bradley finishing better.
Okay. Now Nate Doss, who I believe I've picked to take top 4 is in my picks. He's an experienced veteran, but you don't think he's going to fare well at this particular course at Blue Ribbon Pines? Is that a lack of experience on the course? I mean, the Majestic has been around for forever. It's one of the older events that we've seen throughout the nation.
I'm not saying he's not going to play well, but I don't think top 5.
Okay. You're the expert, not me. So how do you?
Far from it.
Well, we'll find out after this week. So how do you go about picking? Like, did you have some sort of methodology, or was it more just a kind of a gut feeling on the players?
I think a little gut feeling. If you put too much thought into anything, it's not going to work out. So.
Yeah, that's kind of how that's kind of how we run the Smashbox show. So you're all right there. All right, Chris. So you've made your picks, and now let's talk about the prizes that you can actually have a chance to win. So you're shooting for the Zuka card, I'm assuming.
Obviously, yeah.
All right. That's first place, the Pro Tour Specialized Zuka cart, and I believe second through 5th or second through 6th. I'm not exactly
Keen
sure.
shoes.
The Keen shoes. Have you used Keen? Do you have a pair of Keen shoes yet?
Yeah, I have a couple pair of the Marshalls.
Okay, and you're obviously a fan, so.
Some rattlesnakes. So.
Ooh.
No.
So would you say the cart is going to be useful at that course? Is it a longer, more flat?
It's definitely flat. Yeah, it's going to be useful.
Good.
Especially, like I say, in the summer, it's treacherous out there. It's just raw desert, so it helps having a seat.
Excellent. So for everybody else at home, remember, you can go to discgolfprotour.com/fantasy to get your picks in. I believe you have by 10 p.m. Eastern. I believe that might be Friday night. So this might close by the time you see this, depending on when we use this interview. But for future reference, if you want to go out there and pick against some of these experts that we have on the panel, give them a run for their cart. So, Chris, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk with us about your picks. Do you have any parting shots or anything you want to say?
Yeah, just yourself and Steve Dodge and Disc Golf Pro Tour and a couple of local disc golf clubs. We got Bare Bones Disc Golf and First Light Disc Golf, and they do a ton for Arizona disc golf, especially in the East Valley. So shout out to those guys.
Excellent. Thank you for your time. Remember, you can catch all the live coverage on, we're going to have it everywhere. We should have it on the Pro Tour YouTube and Facebook page and Smashbox YouTube and Facebook page. So once again, Chris, I appreciate your time, and have a nice night.
If you're on the West Coast, you're going to need to call in 6 tomorrow because that coverage starts early.
It does. I believe tomorrow we start at 8 a.m. Central Time, which is going to be 6 a.m. for our West Coast correspondent, Jamie Thomas. So, yep. Jamie, set that alarm.
I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and I am joined here by one of Prodigy's founding owners in Phil Arthur. And Phil, I know you just...
Probably on Joe. And you're using Joe's onboard mic? Okay, well,
Hey, Terry. Hey, Terry. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Terry. Do I need to hit?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blue Ribbon Pines Disc Golf Course in East Bethel, Minnesota. I'm joined here by our Disc Golf Pro Tour Director, Steve Dodge. And Steve, looks to be a gorgeous morning out here, and we're getting started early.
Yes, we are started early, Terry. I know that you were up kind of late. I got your email at 3:30 in the morning, and 4 hours later, we're out here ready to go. Gotta love Kale setting us up nice and early. This is wonderful. I gotta go ahead and say the course looks phenomenal. The Majestic is a great place to have our third event.
All right, well, let's get right to it. We've got action right here for our 8-10 card. You're watching live disc golf right here on Smashbox TV.
Spectators, make sure that you guys are always quiet when they're live and ready to throw, and stay back from them at all points. Next is Terry. Then Paul. Then Ricky. Oh no! Drop. Ricky.
And we have our 8-10 group taking off. And as we move down the fairway here, just to get things started, I wanted to catch up with a little bit more here with Steve Dodge. And Steve, looks like today we're going to be featuring the hottest player on the tour, and Ricky Wysocki. Some might say he's favored to win this one. Would you agree with that?
That's definitely what Chuck said. Chuck gave him a 50-50. I talked to Ricky this morning. His ankle is fine, so we can remove that medical adjustment. And I would go ahead and say my guess is the way Uli's playing, he's moved into the top 5 in the hot 10 and 10. Definitely, I would give him a shot at easily staying up with Ricky. And then it's Alex's home course. As Chuck pointed out, that is significant. He had a great approach on this. The left to right. He knows how to play the course. I would look for Alex to do well, and I hope Terry can settle his nerves down. He's obviously a great player, and didn't quite follow through enough on that first shot. I'm going to give it back to you, Terry.
All right, Steve. Well, we are here on a gorgeous Friday morning. This is, of course, the third stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We are at the Minnesota Majestic, which is also a PDGA A-tier tournament.
And we have Kale Leviska of Airborne and Prodigy as your tournament director. Kale is track. And we have Terry, looks to be about 45, maybe 50 feet from the pin on the left side. He'll be putting first. And he's able to fight through the branches and trees on the left-hand side, landing right next to where Ricky Wysocki's drive had finished. Uli's within 20 feet of the pin. And Uli starts out strong with a birdie here on hole 1. Geisinger just inside that, maybe 18 feet at most. Ricky will tap in for the easy 2, and Terry taps in for the 3. So, 3/4 of our competitors start off with birdies here on hole number 1. I caught up earlier with Dutch Napier from Prodigy Disc. He's going to tell us how to attack hole number 2.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job. Go in. Oh.
For me, it's all about the exercise.
For me, it fits into my busy lifestyle.
For me, it's my passion.
Slight left to right bend by Geisinger. And a great shot here by Terry on the 275-foot hole number 2. As you saw, the one main tree in the right center fairway, Uli was caught up by.
Hey, this is Dutch Napier. We're at Blue Ribbon Pines, hole 2, 275 feet. I'm throwing a seasoned M3 and trying to get the hyzer flip, and you don't want to miss right, so and the left is more forgiving.
And a great approach shot there by Paul Ulibarri. Alex Geisinger did say off the tee after Uli's shot had hit the tree that he got a good kick and Rather than kicking into the right and having to scramble a little bit harder, he was able to go with a straight ahead approach shot. Wysocki is looking at approximately 40 feet here for his birdie putt. And not enough height there by Wysocki, just a few inches low. And Geisinger finds himself outside the circle. I think that carried a little further than he thought it did. And no problem for Geisinger. A outstretched straddle to the left side. Birdie 2. And Terry's able to capitalize on the CTP drive that he had. Uli's got less than 12 feet for cleanup. So a pair of birdies by Geisinger along with Terry. We're going to move over to hole 3. It's going to be a brief walk. Now we're moving over to what is course hole number 4. However, this is tournament number 3. We'll be back with you in a few moments.
Hey, Paul Ulibarri here, sponsored by Prodigy Discs. I'm here at Blue Ribbon Pines, hole 4, notably one of the most scenic holes and well-known holes in the world. So coming off of hole 4, which is one of the most difficult holes on Blue Ribbon. Hey, Paul Ulibarri here, sponsored by Prodigy Discs. I'm here at Blue Ribbon Pines, hole 4, notably one of the most scenic holes and well-known holes in the world. 444 feet. It's a par 4, as you can see, straight down the middle. You gotta throw it straight in as far as you can. There's several ways you can play it. Mid-range down the tube, kind of short, is the way I see a lot of people play it, but I kind of go after it with a power shot, trying to get as far down there as I possibly can.
Stay up.
We see Wysocki hit a tree on the left side, carries to the right side, hits another tree, and then has a slight redirect. And that carrying further than his card mates expected. Wysocki moving down the right side of the fairway.
Stand up. Nice shot there. Good shot.
And a great approach shot here by Terry.
I'm not taking any risks looking all strong. Strong for the day.
And Uli is assessing the situation from a different fairway. He may have carried far enough that he may play down the backside of course hole number 7. We'll have to see exactly what he's eyeing up from over on that side. And again, Ulibarri is moving up a parallel fairway here. Looks like he's going to be using most of that for his second shot. And we see one of the first cards that had gone out this morning is playing the opposite direction on that fairway. And Uli opts for a forehand roller, which carries to the left side. And from where I'm standing, it seems as if that has stayed inbounds. There is OB on the left side of this fairway that carries all the way to the pin. And Geisinger wanted to note that he had thrown a Mako here on his tee shot on this 444-foot hole. Simple approach shot should leave him a relatively routine putt for 3. And Uli with a high anhyzer going around the backside of the trees. And it is a gorgeous day out here in East Bethel, Minnesota, just north of the Twin Cities. It's in the mid to high 60s at the moment. A solid 3 there by Terry Rothlisberger. And dancing on that left side rim. Alex paused for a moment. And Uli left light side chain and in. We've got a short walk. We'll be back with you in a moment on hole number 4.
So coming off of hole 4, which is one of the most difficult holes on Blue Ribbon Pines, you have to follow with hole 5, which is also probably top 3 hardest holes on the course. It's 535 feet, par 4. Typically you're going to see people throwing a turnover with a mid-range or something slow around the corner, or a roller. OB left, then you have to throw some sort of upshot over OB, kind of pondish area, kind of a treacherous hole. So. Geisinger being challenged here. Alex is going to do some scorekeeping here. They still do that at the Pro Tour.
I'm really good at this, you know. She's got me.
Oh, that's OB. That was going so far.
So where you were going was good? Yeah. Okay. You want to, I mean, you could try roll it in the ball feed, but which one's the ground lead? I got
And Uli going with a flip up turnover roller.
Yeah. That's got it. All right. So one more camera guy is good. You want to go a little bit right to him. Just hide.
And sneaking past everything, Uli says it's a nice shot. Alex may be a little out of sorts here this morning, not remembering he's got to keep track of the scores. Of course, we have UDisc keeping track of the shot-by-shot action. Check it out on udisclive.com, where you can follow along with all of the scores and stats. Pretty solid gallery out here for an early Friday morning. At least 100 or so people following this card. Also on the 8 o'clock card, where we saw Nate Doss and Paul Macbeth, for example. We know there's a solid gallery following them as well. And after the tree hit, Terry had proclaimed that he was going to be OB. It looks as if that is the case. If you were playing this course in casual play or any other regular day out here, this would actually be 2 holes. I believe these are both holes 5 and 6 that are combined to make this challenging par 4 here for the tournament. And another forehand, and fortunately a similar result, another tree hit by Terry. And Alex going for a gap on the right side, a very skinny one at that. There's OB on the left of this hole. And Wysocki knew that he was headed for the trees in the right center of the fairway. Ulibarri's got a little bit of work to do here off on this right-hand side.
Is there any OB deep? I don't think so. Just, I mean, left, but it's, you can see it curling out by the camera guy. Okay.
the same tree that Wysocki had hit with his forehand approach shot. Rothlisberger will be throwing his third shot. And for the third shot in a row, he's opted for a forehand flick. He may be looking at a bogey 5 here with the penalty that he found from going OB. Yesterday in practice, we saw Paul Ulibarri not only graciously provide us with a hole preview, but play this hole perfectly down to the left side, and then a forehand approach, and then a 25-footer and in. Today, not quite as fortunate. Again, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s right now. It should climb to the high 70s, maybe the low 80s. We're looking at a beautiful weekend for disc golf out here at Blue Ribbon Pines. Seems as if they're having a difficult time locating one of the approach shots. I'm not sure exactly who they're looking for at the moment. I will do my best to move over and aid in the search party here.
Who's he looking for? Ricky's disc. You got it? No. Wait, Terry, that's what we're looking for.
And we are out here looking for Wysocki's. Oh, and just like that, we found it. And with less than a 10-foot gap to hit, Ricky pures his line with his forehand approach shot. Ulibarri is looking just to get up and down here with a forehand. And caught by a branch that I'm not sure that he could even see from his vantage point. And just a little kiss off the tree. He finds himself right next to the pin. And Ulibarri saving it here from exactly on Circle 2's edge. Solid putt by Paul Ulibarri. Yesterday I caught up with him. We were talking about yet again, his new putting stance along with his putting routine. Paying off there big from circles 2 edge. Wysocki is in. As I mentioned, Alex right next to the basket. And Rothlisberger will be tapping in as well. Very challenging here as they combined holes 5 to 6 on the regular course. We have a brief walk. We're going to stand down for just a few moments. Listen to a word from our sponsors. You're watching live action right here from Blue Ribbon Pines for the 3rd stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Flashlight LED disc golf discs just changed the game. The unique Disco Select feature allows everyone to choose their own color by simply pressing the middle button, then pressing it again during the first rotation of colors when the one you want appears. Or you can leave it in disco mode, rotating through the 6 different colors for the duration of your game. Designed by serious professionals, crafted from Night Eye's unrivaled sure grip material, and stability, performance, and just plain awesomeness. With
Here at Blue Ribbon Pines, hole 6, this is your more conventional Blue Ribbon Pines par 4. Layup shot about 250, 300 feet in front of you before you get to some pretty brutal water where you'll lose your disc. Throw it over the water about 340 feet to the basket, which is guarded by some guardian trees.
Thank you for watching the Disc Golf Pro Tour, brought to you by Blue Orange Games, hot games for a cool planet, and by Vibram Disc Golf, tested where it matters, and by Goal Zero, share the sun, power to the people.
And a perfect drive here by Paul Ulibarri. The standstill forehand by Wysocki off the tee here on a 620-foot hole. Oh, and that double tree kick did not help Terry's drive. As we move down the fairway, we're going to check in for the first time today with our West Coast stats analyst, Jamie Thomas. He's taking a look at Nate Sexton, who's off to a hot start. Let's check in with Jamie Thomas on the West Coast.
Thank you, Terry. Welcome into the Disc Golf Pro Tour stats booth, everybody. Nice and early here on the West Coast, but we're up and watching disc golf. So let's get down to it. Nate Sexton has jumped out to a hot start. He's 4 down through his first 5 holes. He hasn't missed a green in regulation yet. And the putter flip technique's working so far. His furthest putt has been 22 feet. Nate Sexton off to a hot start early at the Majestic.
camera guy almost. Yeah.
And coming in hot is Geisinger's standstill forehand out to the right side of these trees.
That one's come a long way in the last year and a half. That one went a long ways. Baby.
And after catching some foliage there on the tree on the far side of the pond, it carries forward. That could have been somewhat disastrous had it kicked back toward the water. Ricky's just short of the drop zone here. And Yuli's shot hits high on the right side, carries down to the left and on the pin. Of course, we would like to thank everyone that has tuned into our various platforms, busting out something new here at the third stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We're excited that you can now view us on Facebook Live, on our Smashbox page, as well as on our Disc Golf Pro Tour Facebook pages, and on the Disc Golf Pro Tour YouTube page. So there are countless ways, well, okay, maybe 5 to 7 as I just rattled them off, but there are a number of ways that you can consume the live action taking place here at the 2016 Minnesota Majestic. I'm Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy. We are in East Bethel, Minnesota, at the famed Blue Ribbon Pines private disc golf course. And Ricky hits pole from 75 feet.
I don't know if you hit anything there. I keep going out.
And Uli from just inside the circle. He's going to card the birdie 3 here. And Alex continues with his hot streak here. And out of his hand, it looked high and catches high chain and tips back out on its back. Rothlisberger is not in from 18 feet. And we have a very brief walk over to the next hole. We'll be back with you guys in just a few moments. You're watching live disc golf right here for the 2016 Minnesota Majestic.
Here at Blue Ribbon Pines, hole 7. This is one of the harder par 3s on the course. Your typical Blue Ribbon Pines hole, you hit the gap, you're going to get rewarded. If you don't, you're going to get punished. 375 feet about, par 3.
And a great shot there by Alex Geisinger.
Stand up.
And Ulibarri making his adjustment from yesterday's preview hole. And a very fortunate kick for Ricky Wysocki.
Yeah. Get all the way up on that tier. Come on, there. Drop it down.
Again, Wysocki hitting the left side fairway here, and it stops perfectly into the center. That was an awkward stance here for Wysocki. However, it doesn't seem to give him any trouble whatsoever, and he's put himself within 25 feet. Uli is on the left side of the fairway. He's going to have a little bit of work to do over here. He's asked for Alex Geisinger to come, I believe, verify his lie. And Uli was asking Geisinger to verify his lie because he was planning on jump putting. Must have been just outside the circle's edge. And a great recovery here by Ricky Wysocki. Geisinger finds himself with an easy tap in here. Rothlisberger getting just a little bit of a, I believe, a pep talk by Geisinger after his birdie attempt. And he's in. We're going to move on to the next hole. Again, some of these holes were slightly misnumbered during our hole previews, but I think you're going to enjoy it. We'll be back with you in a few moments right here at the 2016 Minnesota Majestic. And Ricky with a
No pressure
jump
there.
putt off the tee.
Oh my
Look at that kick,
goodness.
They go
You
through.
got a putt from like 80. This hole's hard.
And unfortunately, I don't have much to say there. Yeah, that was far from good, impressive, decent. I'm sorry, that was painful. Interesting to see that Paul Ulibarri, after acing this hole yesterday in practice, goes with a different disc and a different shot entirely. Now he's got an overhand pancake from more than 100 feet. And he is short and on the right side, trying to play that skip off the top of the disc once it landed flat. Wysocki's going to have a stretched out forehand here. Wysocki's soft forehand puts him within 10 feet of the pin. And Geisinger just a few feet further down the fairway. I'm not sure collectively the four of them got the 155 feet needed here off the tee. And an approach to within 15 for Geisinger. And I should say Terry did get a very fortuitous kick off of this tree, which carried wide right. He's still not quite pin high, but he finds himself on the right hand side looking at maybe just inside 60 feet. And Paul Ulibarri is able to make that to give the card a chance at taking a star par. Not exactly what we anticipated moving into the shortest hole on the course. And again, we tap out on the shortest hole found out here at Blue Ribbon Pines during the 2016 Minnesota Majestic. Dutch Napier not only has a whole preview for us on the next hole, but before that, we're going to check in with him as he's off to a perfect start, 4 for 4. Let's check in with our stats analyst, Jamie Thomas.
Hey, we're out here at Blue Ribbon Pines, 520 feet. It's a two-shot.
Welcome back into the Disc Golf Pro Tour stats booth powered by UDisc. Welcome to the limelight, Dutch Napier. 100% hitting the greens in regulation, half of them in C1, half in C2. And he's just put a pair of C2 putts down on holes 3 and 4. Working early at the very technical Blue Ribbon Pines for the first round of the Majestic.
Legacy Discs and Upper Park Designs have collaborated to bring you this new edition Rebel backpack bag. The Rebel has a 25 disc capacity with vertical and horizontal storage. The bag is lightweight and very functional, one of the best on the market. Pre-order yours now through discgolfblackmarket.com and you will receive a limited edition stamp of our long-awaited disc, The Enemy. I'm Steve Rico, and I approve this message.
Legacy!
Good shot, buddy. Thank you. Go.
I like the hip rotation on the knee. That was great.
What's on your knee?
I heard the squeak.
That's the most impressive thing I've ever. I didn't see.
I spent the entire round on my knee. And we got it look all around.
Boom! That's why I try to go over this tree. If I go over the tree, I can't.
Take something stable.
What is here?
Stable PDQ.
This? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm safe. You got all or no?
Great stuff, buddy. Thank you.
Oh, like when they're.
Oh, they gotta be across because I can get to the water. It's gonna be wild.
good. Beat. Go on, Haley. Yeah, boy. Might just be. Haley.
You're watching the Disc Golf Pro Tour, brought to you by Dude, authentic disc golf clothing, and by Prodigy Disc, the future of disc golf, and by Night Eyes, innovation.
This is the Onyx, Vibrum's massively understable fairway driver. A small wing for small hands, gets you good power, amazing distance, and this disc will hold a line at very slow speeds.
If you have a slow arm speed, it's going to really be something that you're going to want in your bag.
You can lay down some nasty rollers. You don't have to throw too hard. You just put it on a nice hyzer line, flips up, turns, holds an edge.
This disc is a very great disc for a beginner, maybe your younger kids.
If you have slower arm speed, you are absolutely going to love the Onyx. It's a perfect starting disc, available in 150 class and below.
Bring it back, Johnny.
Stable up. Oh my. Wow, that's the worst kick ever.
Usually going with a high hyzer flip. However, after hitting the branch, it filters to the left.
Turn it. Yeah, babe. There we go, Terry.
And Rothlisberger with a great forehand. It has a
So short. Okay.
huge S pattern to it. For a moment, he thought that may have gone OB, however, looks to be short of that. And Wysocki continues to struggle here off the tee. He's found the right side of the fairway, hitting a tree, but again getting a what seems to be a very fortuitous kick. Wysocki could be at least 2 to 4 strokes worse had he not received so many decent kicks here today. And another forehand here by Ricky Wysocki.
Which one of them would be like this and show an axe or a save? It's just killing me, but I don't know.
On optimum position here to be able to attack this green for the birdie 3, knowing that the OB pond looms just a few feet short of the pin. And as Terry says, that could be worse. He hits the tree just short of the pond and stops in the safe side, short.
Every single one.
And Ricky just gets over the pond. He's going to be looking at a putt from inside 30 feet. And Alex just squeaking over the edge there. He wasn't as certain when he had released that. And Terry has also thrown across again. This is Wysocki. Looks to be just right around circle's edge. Tough for me to tell from my vantage point, but looks like he's just outside possibly of circle's edge here. This is for a par 4. And from any distance, Wysocki makes it look easy. He's just got to get it dialed in off the tee here today, as he's been struggling moving around the Blue Ribbon Pines course. I'm going to move in and take a look here as to Uli's lie.
That line, I guess. Just that one. You're not. No, I know. Just that main line. Thank you. Yeah.
And Wysocki, who was safe on mushy ground, is in. And I may have misspoken, I'm not sure. Ulibarri is in, I should say. And Uli was just telling me a moment ago as he walked up saying he thought he saw a splash and thought, in fact, he was, in fact, in the OB water. But he's safe and he's happy with that. You thought you saw a splash? Is that what you said?
No, I definitely saw a splash, and it surprised me because I didn't even think about the other pond. I was just thinking about getting over the initial one.
Ponds for days here.
And then I saw the splash, and I got lucky.
Nice for it, Andrew. I took it for Terry. Took this wind out here. Yeah, you're up 3 points. Okay, so 4.
Yeah.
And Rick 4. Alright. Interesting. Sorry. I think so.
And Geisinger with a huge hyzer here on hole number 9. This is a shared tee pad. We'll see this hole a little bit later in the round. Another hole runs perpendicular to 9. And Uli hits a orange cone, and the orange cones are indicators of the shorter pin placements out here. It may have been an ace if the pin was in a shorter position.
Come on, get stable.
And just clearing the trees on the right side is Rothlisberger. Again, this 425-foot par 3, hole number 9. We're going to move from the wooded area of the course out into the opening as a number of holes play on or across various sod farms out here. And I walk out into a beautiful bright blue sky, not a single cloud in the sky here today. We're glad you can join us live here on a Friday morning. This is the 2016 Minnesota Majestic, taking place at Blue Ribbon Pines in East Bethel, Minnesota. Our third stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, as well as a PDGA A Tier, the Majestic being one of the longest running tournaments to be held here in Minnesota. We've seen a number of amazing TDs throughout the years. Cale Levis got our most recent TD on record. Cale also competing. He's just a few holes ahead. If you'd like to see where he's at, along with all of our other top competitors, of course, go to udisclive.com. Take a look for all the up-to-date stats and scores. A frustrated Ricky Wysocki, hat turned backwards. I believe that may be his 9th or 10th hole rally cap that he's going to try and dial in here. He has not been off to the start he's looking for here today. And Rothlisberger knew he had a good run, just left. And Uli right on line, just a matter of maybe 12 inches short of the pin. Alex Geisinger is approximately 40 feet from the pin. And Geisinger takes the birdie too from approximately 40 feet. Off to a solid start here during this opening round of this 3-round tournament. Uli will tap in, and a very, very frustrated Wysocki will do the same. We've got just less than a 30 to 40 foot walk as we move over to hole number 10.
Terry, circle 4. Paul, 3. Rick, 3. Sure.
Paul, Ricky, Terry.
Uli going with a flex forehand as well. Great shot by Wysocki.
Get in the hole.
And Terry opts for the lone backhand here after 3 forehand shots, making it look very easy. Terry goes up the left-hand side on this 253-foot hole number 10. Again, if you are local or familiar with the Blue Ribbon Pines course, you may be questioning some of our tee-pad calling here in our various holes. However, this is a 22-hole configuration that they're playing this weekend, skipping a matter of a few holes throughout the course. Kale Leviska making that decision as a tournament director. This is one of the more unique baskets and landscaping opportunities you'll find out here at the Blue Ribbon Pines course. And maybe not accounting as much as he needed to for the downward slope here on that putt. And Uli from approximately 15 feet. Geisinger's the same. And Geisinger with a birdie as well. And Wysocki will tap in. So 3 forehands with birdies. Rothlisberger just off the top of the basket. He's going to have to settle for a par. We'll be back with you in a few moments. We're going to move over to hole number 11. Stay tuned. You're watching the Minnesota Majestic right here with the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
This is the Pro Tour.
Hey, I'm Nate Doss, and I'm playing the Pro Tour.
I'm playing the Pro Tour.
I'm Ricky Wysocki, and I'm playing the Pro Tour.
This is the Pro Tour.
I'm Paul Macbeth, and this is the Pro Tour.
I'm playing the Pro Tour.
I am Kale Leviska.
Justin Keegan.
I'm Big Germ, and this is the Pro Tour.
Say it better like you, say it more like you.
This is the Pro Tour.
I'm Sarah Holcomb, and I'm playing the Pro Tour.
I'm Eric McCabe, and I'm playing the Pro Tour.
I am the Pro Tour.
I'm Will Schusterick, and this is the Pro Tour.
How's that cheese? Oh, this is gonna be good.
Welcome back into another quick stats booth update. Experiencing a little bit of
Great shot here by the forehanding Alex Geisinger. Another great shot here by Uli. And making it look very easy here on hole number 11. As we move down the fairway, we're going to check in with our West Coast stats analyst, Jamie Thomas.
Welcome back into another quick stats booth update. Experiencing a little bit of a backup right now, so I'm going to take a moment to show you something that I have to thank Josh over at UDisc for building in the very quick turnaround time between the Silver Cup and now. Check this out right here. I can show you guys top 3, top 4, top 5 players in the field instead of sorting it by card. And I can also pop this cool little feature on called Show the Field. So you can see how the top players are doing versus the field averages in all the stats categories that we're tracking. Again, thanks to UDisc on the Disc Golf Pro Tour stats booth. Now back to Terry and the crew at the Majestic.
And Terry's struggles continue here. He was saying he's never missed this many putts before in his life. And with authority, Geisinger is in. That's, of course, one of the most unique basket placements you'll find anywhere in the country. And light left chain for Uli. He claims it was solid. And some antics here on the hanging basket. If I were to go ahead and give a pro tip here on this basket, I would say once you putt, leave all of your discs in. And I think that will be less likely that you're going to move that basket around for your fellow competitor. We're going to move over to the next hole on hole number 12.
I'm AJ Risley from San Diego, California. We're here on hole 12 at BRP. We're about 650 feet away through the gap, over the pond, onto another landing zone where you see the beautiful Dana Vici throwing his second shot. Basket's out in the clearing and to the right. This is going to be a 2-shot hole. On the drive, you're looking to just lace a nice hyzer flip right out into that clearing, and then you're going to throw something that turns left to right, whether it's a right hand forehand, right hand backhand. Lefties will have a nice little pitch up to the basket for their birdie 3, and then you move on to the driving range.
And Geisinger moves up the left-hand side of the fairway. And Terry letting out a little of his frustration and aggression here on the 12th tee with a perfect shot right up the center.
I thought I was going to get more tailwind love there. Yeah, buddy. Thank you. Woo! That's Nathan. Big stuff, dude. Hey. I want it. Oh, let's give it a touch. There's Kente.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job. Go in. Oh.
For me, it's all about the exercise.
For me, it fits into my busy lifestyle.
For me, it's my passion.
For us, it doesn't cost much to play.
For me, it's fun.
And just a few moments ago, we saw Paul Ulibarri approach from the left side fairway. Pitched out into the center. Really the only shot he had. This is Ricky Wysocki throwing second. And Geisinger goes up and over the trees versus fighting through the gap. Looks to be right side of the pin. Should have an easy look at birdie 3 from there. And again, Terry Rothlisberger has still outdriven even Ulibarri's second throw here. This will be Yuli's third shot. He's got a pretty easy gap to hit. And with a light left to right breeze, Yuli throws a forehand to within 10 feet of the pin. The gallery approves. Solid shot. And Terry with a Very overstable mid, possibly a discraft zone, if I had to guess. Again, we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to all of our multiple outlets and streams that we are now providing here. You can find us on the Disc Golf Pro Tour YouTube page as well as the Disc Golf Pro Tour Facebook page. Also out on Smashbox TV on our regular YouTube channel where you find most of our other live broadcasts. Wherever you are, just please make sure you're going out and sharing the link, letting everyone know that you're watching live disc golf right here from Blue Ribbon Pines, the 2016 Minnesota Majestic. And throwing daggers, as they may say, from 39 feet, Ricky Wysocki with a put in here for birdie. And Geisinger from just around Circle's edge, a little further than I thought he had carried after that huge second shot. Terry's looking to pick up a birdie here.
Good job, Terry.
And Terry's been frustrated with his putting, however, solid stroke there. He's going to take the birdie 3, and Uli will tap in for his 4 after coming off that left-hand rough. We're going to move over to the gorgeous hole number 13. We've got a preview for you from none other than Dynamite Dana Vici.
What's up, guys? Dana Vici here. I'm at Blue Ribbon Pines standing on hole 13. It's a 761-foot par 4. This is called the driving range hole. As you can see, there's distances. You can measure how far you're throwing, but there's a little bit of a twist. We're standing up, it's got to be about 40 feet high. Blue Ribbon Pines does not have a whole lot of elevation, so what did they do? They built themselves a beautiful elevated tee pad. Here you're going to see players have to make a decision. Either grip and rip to go over the out of bounds creek, which is probably a 450 to 470 foot shot, or lay up short and then go for the green from there. There is, once you do cross the creek, there is an out of bounds area short of the basket. So there's going to be some decisions to be made if you don't get off a good shot, whether to lay up again and take your medicine and get the par, or grip and rip and go for that birdie. Personally, I'm going to grip and rip and get that birdie.
Sun King Discs, established in 2001. Florida's most respected name in disc sports. Official retail merchandiser of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Currently on tour supporting Discraft and DGA live inventory, free shipping at $12. All orders $19.99, ships in a box, includes single discs, large selection of both stock and collectibles. Check out the website at www.sunkingdiscs.com.
Geisinger ready to tee here in a few moments. Actually, and he just is looking for that to stable up. He may clear, yeah, he's got the 300, the 350. Oh, okay, close to the 600-foot barrier. And Wysocki's rally cap comes off. And he is out and over. That's going to be just shy of 500 feet. Uli trying to get the full S turn as that's got a late turnover. He's looking for that to clear.
Nice shot, Bob.
And he's done just that. And Uli content with his throw, knowing that Geisinger still has him by probably close to 100 feet. As we move down the fairway, we're going to catch up with Drew Gibson, who's going to let us know that he's teeing off at 11:20, so he's got another approximately hour and 20 minutes. Did I hear you have a world champion on your card? Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah, I'm playing with Cam Todd today, so hopefully battle it out here, Blue Ribbon Pines.
Now, when Cam Todd was here in 2001 and he won the World Championships, one, I'm not sure that you were born, but two,
No, I wasn't born.
Blue Ribbon Pines didn't exist at that point. So it should be fun to see such a beautiful track out here with someone who's won a world title in this state.
Yeah, I think playing with Cam, I played with him last week at the A tier in Iowa, so it's always fun to play with Cam. For one, he's super fast, which is nice, not having to wait on someone for 45 seconds to put a 15-footer, so that's always a plus. But yeah, I mean, we're pretty good friends, so being able to play with him at any time, at any tournament's always a cool thing.
All right, who's the slowest player you don't like playing with?
I'm not going to say I don't like playing with, that's a setup, but the slowest player is probably, depending what you're talking about. AJ,
Let's talk putts.
Depending on the day, Nico gets pretty slow. Philo's not the fastest. AJ, he's slow. I think he counts to 45. But there's a lot of people that are on that level of Nico. They just aren't as competitive, so we don't play with them. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people I see out there take a long time.
Drew's pro tip, speed it up. And looked like a low release there. Terry's going to have to try and settle for a par at this point. Forehand release. Drew, I noticed you playing in this skins match that took place, a little exhibition down the road a few days ago. And has anybody told you look like you're throwing a strike for bowling once you've released your forehand shot? Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Actually, Germ and a few of the other guys actually make fun of me for it, but you know, I've heard worse.
I wasn't going to dare make fun of you. I was just wondering if you've ever heard that.
Oh, I've heard it, yeah. Germ will go like this and act like he throws the disc at his own foot. He thinks it's like the best joke of the day.
And one of the most efficient and effective forehanders in the world, Wysocki. And Uli just short of the 550 marker. Now there is OB long on this hole. However, he's going to come up short of that. He'll be looking back at the pin for a birdie opportunity. Now, it's got to feel good when you have the distance that like a Geisinger does to come out here and be able to bite off more than 2/3 of this hole in a single drive. This is just a little easy up and down for him. Drew, you throw almost as far as him. Is this a huge advantage on this hole?
It becomes a big advantage when it's windy or breezy like it is. I mean, having a 150-foot upshot into a green is easier in the wind than having a 250, 300. I mean, the difference between Terry's drive and Alex's drive is probably 250 feet, and when you start adding a whole 4 another disc speeds and wind, it really makes a big difference. I mean, that's why on holes like this, where us people who throw farther than the average take advantage of it, or at least try to, because in the long run, it'll save you strokes during a tournament. Even if he were to not get up and down here, he's not losing strokes on anyone, and he has a chance for a throw-in. Nice shot.
And a great shot by Geisinger. As you said, a chance at a throw-in on a 750-foot hole, and we see Terry's second shot is just a few feet in front of his.
Exactly, and that's where, you know, you kind of, this is where the big distance guys, or, you know, whatever people classify the group of us is we really get advantage on players when they have to lay up before the creek here. Then we're throwing, you know, our upshot with the putter, or even, I mean, Alex could have probably jump putted that and still been safe if there wasn't the out of bounds, you know. So it's just I think it's a huge advantage when it comes to holes like this. Now in the woods, that also is an advantage. You're throwing a slower disc in the woods. It's not going to skip. It's not going to bounce. It's not going to take as bad of a kick, you know. So all around, having a little more power is helpful if you have the control, which Alex does have.
Well, he's off to a great start here. We see him just a few holes behind Nate's competitors.
Yeah, as we've practiced here, and I was here 3 years ago, I think, and played the tournament. As the day goes on, it gets more and more windy, just like it does anywhere else. You know, I mean, so having an early tee time, 7:30. I mean, there's people I think that teed off at 7:10 this morning. You know, I think that's a pretty big advantage for people who versus the people playing at 2 o'clock when it's starting to get more than gusty. It becomes windy. You know, this is more of a constant little breeze when it starts getting windy. And I mean, Kale and I practiced yesterday, and we had like 25-foot headwind putts and a 30-mile-an-hour wind. You know, I mean, there at a certain point in the day, it gets pretty crazy out here. And the way all this fairway is shaped here, that goes, it's basically just a landing strip through the middle of the woods. So it starts swirling, it hits one side and swirls to the other side. So it's pretty hard to tell exactly what it's doing.
And Yuli's attempt, it may have been a slight misread on the wind. Exactly what we were just talking about there, Drew. There's a lot of different patterns that can be swirling around, especially in this little pocket that we're in. We see Wysocki was in fact in bounds. Yuli with the trick left-handed putt. And Geisinger, 750 feet and an easy tap in for the birdie 3. We're going to catch up with Valerie Jenkins here in just a few moments. We see a little bit of a group has gathered on hole number 12. Oh, correction, that looks to be another hole off in the distance. My bad. So we're going to move on to hole number 12. Let's check in with Valerie Jenkins.
Hi everybody, it's Val Jenkins here at Blue Ribbon Pines, and we're on hole 14. And this is what they call the island hole. So everything in the staked-in area is safe, but everything else is OB. So if you go OB, you're taking it from the drop zone to go at your circle 3 or probably your circle 4, but it's a definite must-get birdie hole. So good luck.
Thank you for watching The Majestic, a Disc Golf Pro Tour event, and a PDGA A-Tier. Disc Golf, it's in the air.
Here for the island on 14. And needing a little bit more leg on that. And he finds himself safe and on the island with the hyzer, spike hyzer. Wysocki perfectly placed. And Yuli appears to have the right speed on that. That should check up nicely, and it's done just that. And Terry needs that to get left in a hurry. And it looks as if that's going to be safe. Drew, I'm going to go ahead and say that none of our 4 players here today were as close as we saw Val during her hole preview with us yesterday. This is a hole she had dialed in. What are you going to be throwing when you approach this hole in a few hours?
Depending on the wind, I'm either going to throw a felon or a mace. Just depend. Right now it's a headwind, so I'll probably end up throwing the fairway driver. But yesterday I played it as a left to right instead of a left to right headwind, which they're playing it in now. So looks like the wind's a little different today than it was what I practiced yesterday.
Drew, we're walking across some beautiful, lush green grass out here at Blue Ribbon Pines. This is, in fact, a sod farm that has undergone some major changes throughout the years as Blue Ribbon Pines has developed into one of the premier disc golf courses in the country. Feels good to come out here and play in these beautiful conditions, doesn't it, Drew?
Yeah, it's a, every place has its own little unique thing. Emporia's open, USCGC's typically open with a lot of out of bounds, there's so many places where we play where you kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
And somehow Terry's attempt for par goes out and around the pin. Looked like that could have fell in just a bit short. And Alex with a very uncharacteristic putt. A miss from inside the circle. And Uli with phenomenal concentration there as a number of cameramen were directly in line with his putting line of sight. Little pro tip that we like to always announce anytime you come out and watch any live disc golf. It is not a problem for you to be in a competitor's line or line of sight. The most critical part is that you stand still as soon as they're getting ready to putt so that they can focus in and concentrate on their throw. Couple birdies, a par, and a bogey all here on the island. We're going to be back with you in a few moments. Stay tuned because you're watching the 2016 Minnesota Majestic.
Hey everybody, it's Nate Doss. I'm here on hole 15. It's a 440-foot par 3. Pretty straightforward hole, actually probably the most straightforward hole here at Blue Ribbon Pines. Literally nothing between you and the basket. You just got to grip it and rip it. I think most likely we'll see quite a few threes here, but if you can get your timing correct, you're going to get that too.
Yeah, doing it. Good shot. Good shot.
And Wysocki going for the straight hyzer attempt gets a kick off of a tree on the left side. Looks like it may have pushed him back slightly, but he will have a putt at that. And Uli playing the flex shot here. He's looking for that just to finish. Great shot by Paul Ulibarri. And again, Geisinger with the luxury of just going at it hard with a slight hyzer. He finds himself on the left side, though. And Terry knows there's just not enough time for that to hook up. He's going to be on the right-hand side. He may have a look from over there. Of course, we're here on hole 15, 440 feet. We'd like to thank all of our competitors and disc golf ambassadors who are gracious enough to help Smashbox TV and the Disc Golf Pro Tour with our hole previews. Try to give you a mixture of different competitors throughout the course. As I think back to yesterday and working with our players, I think of Dutch Napier, Val Jenkins, Paul Ulibarri, Nate Doss. I believe Nate Sexton helped out at one point. Nico LaCastro. So I'd like to thank all of our different competitors that were gracious enough to give us a few moments of their time so they can give you a personal hole preview right here on Smashbox. And low from the left-hand side. He was about 45 feet, maybe 42 feet from the pin. Geisinger's going to have to settle for a par here. And Terry thought he had that, giving it more than enough power. However, just a bit on the high side here of these beautiful DGA Mach 5 baskets. We'd like to say hello to all our friends over at DGA. Wysocki and Ulibarri both able to capitalize here on their birdie opportunities.
Should I go warm up?
Drew wants to know if you should go warm up. So if you could click on the like and share buttons. If you think he should warm up, please click on share. If you think he should stay here, please click on the share button.
Double share.
watching the Disc Golf Pro Tour, brought to you by Sun King Discs, Disc Golf in Paradise, and by Tribaloid, Engineering Creativity, and by Discraft, the world leader in disc sports.
A perfect shot by Ricky Wysocki. Uli opts for the backhand, which is fading left.
That's OB.
And Terry's last drive of the group catches some tree limbs and does not move forward. Drew, it looks like we find Terry OB here. This pond or marshy
Creek or
area.
crevice or whatever it is.
Crick?
Creek. What's the proper way?
Everything's right.
It's like bag and bag, as you guys say it. Bog. How do you say it? Say it.
Bag.
Bag. It's a bag. Hey, that's a nice bag.
I'm not sure that's quite how it goes here, Drew,
Nice
but
bag.
either way, it looks like Terry's struggling a little. And Geisinger gets to within 6 feet of the pin. Uli's attempt is just offline. Little PDGA flow of play here. States that if the people in the group agree to putting, even if they are not out, they're allowed to do so. And Terry is in. We're going to move over. We have one of the most favorite holes you can find here out at the Blue Ribbon Pines course. We've got Nate Doss, our three-time world champ, going to give you the whole preview right now.
Hey everyone, it's Nate Doss. We're here on hole 17 at Blue Ribbon Pines. This is a 342-foot par 3. The big challenge here is there's a lake in between where I'm standing and where the basket is. So you have to play a nice, strong turnover. I think with a driver, maybe some of the bigger throwers can throw a mid-range, but ultimately this is a very difficult hole. 3 is good, 2 is phenomenal. Stay out of the water, you're going to be all right.
And Wysocki looking for a harder finish there with his forehand. And that's fading right. That'll work. You'll have a putt from there. And Geisinger's shot is coming in nicely. He needs to make sure he gets up and over. And the hometown crowd likes it. I believe that was a champion mid-range of sorts. And from the tee area, that looks to be headed toward the pond. Tough to tell from here, though. And Terry relatively quickly gets up and throws from the drop zone. One way to eliminate any kind of judgment calls or confusion as to where someone goes OB or where they were last inbounds. A drop zone can address all of those concerns by making any OB shot move directly to the drop zone. And Wysocki with a slight right to left wind comes up just short on that putt. And Yuli's newest putting formation seems to be dialed in here today. Great stroke there by Ulibarri. Happy to take the birdie 2. And Geisinger back on track here with a birdie. And Ricky Wysocki hand on cart. I believe I saw briefly in a chat room of sorts or on the message board from Facebook, Brian Schweberger talking about that. I'm not sure where that conversation went, and it would be a great topic for one of our after shows. We're through this gorgeous hole. We're going to move on to the next one. Val Jenkins with the call.
Hey, this is Nate Doss. I'm here on hole 19 here at Blue Ribbon Pines. This is a 334-foot par 3. Nice, easy hyzer, really. Again, one of the more straightforward holes on this course. Mostly.
Through that gap, come on. No. Take this hole. Hit that corner every year.
And Wysocki with the Yuli helping me out with the play call, saying that unconventional was the term I should have used for Wysocki's forehand roller here. I'm not sure that I would have used the term terrible. However, Yuli helping me out. I'd like to apologize. I was notified that our hole 18 preview by Valerie Jenkins didn't come through as clear as it should have. May have been a 3:30 a.m. editing error on my part. We'll make sure to have that for you tomorrow. And Yuli is on the right-hand side. Not sure that Wysocki even is aware of where Yuli had landed. We also see Dutch Napier moving up on the leaderboard, shooting very hot here this morning.
Sorry.
And Ulibarri from approximately 100 feet with a long jumper to lay up next to the pin. Geisinger not trying to settle for par here, gives it an aggressive run. I didn't say that you were settling. I just said you had a long jumper from 100 feet. I didn't mention all the wobble to it.
It's just the way it comes out sometimes. I knew it. I felt like I was going to make it. I didn't. But I was like, he went for it, so I have to. I'm like, I think I'll make it if I just put a little wobble on it.
This unconventional route outdrove you guys both.
Yeah, and he's going to blast the basket.
Let's stick it over.
It's the tip of his disc.
It's so close.
Yeah. I think he's fine. There you go. If he makes this.
If he makes it in the puke.
Oh!
What'd you think of that, Yuli?
Kid's nuts, man.
There's stuff in your mouth a little bit.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry about that. This guy's having a little bit of fun here with just a few holes to play during our first round here at the 2016 Minnesota Majestic. And right side. And finally, Terry is able to putt here, as he has CTP. And the rest of the touring professionals here will tap out. Correction, Alex does pretty much stay local and occasionally hustles out to some tournaments and usually performs very well. We're going to move over to...
Earlier, but now we're heading back into the woods instead of out of the woods. Plates can get you too.
You're watching the Disc Golf Pro Tour, brought to you by Silly Pint. Life is better, silly. And by Legacy Discs. Play with confidence. And by Darn Tough Socks.
And as Terry takes the tee, we are here actually on hole number 19. Terry's thrown himself to within 20 feet here on this 335-foot hole 19. I incorrectly mentioned hole 20 before. Not trying to get ahead of ourselves here. Yuli's looking for the wind to possibly push that down. He's left past the pin. And not quite making the adjustment is Geisinger. And Wysocki looking to make the adjustment. However, it's still pushing left. We're going to see 3 putts from the left-hand side. Yuli stating that Rothlisberger, who had gone first, somewhat tricked them, throwing off to that right-hand side, and then all 3 of them followed, managed to carry left and pass the pin. We've just got a few holes here remaining during our first round. We invite you to join us for the next 2 days. Of course, we're going to be bringing you live leader card coverage of the 2016 Majestic, this 3rd stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and the very popular PDGA A-Tier that has been taking place for at least 30 years here in Minnesota. We're glad you could join us on this Friday afternoon if you're at work. Well, good for you. Glad you're tuned in. Glad you're watching. Please go out and like and share. Make sure you subscribe to all of the various channels so you never miss any of our live action. Today we're excited to bring you our first ever multi-stream coverage out on Facebook and YouTube. There's no excuse to not be watching live disc golf right here. The 2016 Minnesota Majestic. And from just a few inches is outside the circle's edge. Geisinger is wide right. That could have fallen in, however, not this time. Paul from the exact same distance. And he didn't think he had it at first, but Uli's famous step putt is good. And painting the pole, as they may say, perfectly is Ricky Wysocki. Great putt from right on the circle's edge. And Terry will tap in for his too, as he has CTP. That's back-to-back birdies for Terry. And this time Alex Geisinger will be left out of the birdie club. Now we're really going to move on to hole number 20. I believe we got a whole preview from Nate Doss.
Hey guys, this is Nate Doss. We're here on hole 20. The double tee. You might have seen this tee earlier, but now we're heading back into the woods instead of out of the woods. It's 260-foot par 3. You know, pretty simple, but there's a few things you got to maneuver. There's one tree in the middle, play to the right of that, nice easy hyzer, should put you right up near the pin. Left and right are pretty dead, so keep it straight and get you two.
We're back here inside the Disc Golf Pro Tour stats booth powered by UDisc. After a slow start to the day, we're finally seeing some of the names that we expect to see on the top of the leaderboard rise to the occasion. Macbeth started out with a nice 3 down through 3, fell off the pace, but has been able to make it back up on the latter half of this course. Other names like Paul Ulibarri, Nate Doss, a little bit of a slower start, riding the par train somewhat, but they're finally getting back to where they're used to being, and this competition is really good really early, with the hometown favorite Geisinger on the podium and the somewhat of a surprise appearance by Dutch Napier. Back to Terry and the rest of the crew to finish out the rounds here at the Blue Ribbon Pines event, the Majestic on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
And Yuli is second to throw. Terry had gotten up a little too quickly for everyone and immediately fired. So Ricky Wysocki is third here on the tee.
Stable.
And Alex with a KC AVR needed more height and a little bit more on the right hand side. This hole. last few months, as there used to be a tree that went across the fairway, created another obstacle. Again, we're looking to be live around 2:40 to 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. We're hoping that you can join us and let us bring you the second round coverage here of the 2016 Minnesota Majestic. As of right now, we have some front runners of leader card, which may consist of the likes of Nate Sexton and Dutch Napier, who are off both to a great round here in the opening round. And Wysocki from the right-hand rough carries over the pin to the left side. And as that transpires, we've got Nate Sexton sitting at 16 under par with just one hole to play. And a great recovery there by Ricky Wysocki. He's able to save his par. And Terry with a turkey here. 3 birdies in a row. And Uli is also in to card back-to-back birdies here. Geisinger and Wysocki will settle with pars. We're going to move over to hole number 21, a challenging and final par 4 here at the 2016 Minnesota Majestic.
That's all. That whole strip is safe all the way up. Yeah. Looks kind of like it. I think so. Oh my God.
Perfect.
As far as he wants to throw it. Yeah, that sucks.
We're back here inside the Disc Golf Pro Tour Stats booth powered by UDisc. After a slow start to the day, we're finally seeing some of the names that we expect to see on the top of the leaderboard rise to the occasion. Macbeth started out with a nice 3 down through 3, fell off the pace, but has been able to make it back up on the latter half of this course. Other names like Paul Ulibarri, Nate Doss, A little bit of a slower start, riding the par train somewhat, but they're finally getting back to where they're used to being, and this competition is really...
Miss. Thank you. There you go, Ricky.
Missed my line by 15 feet. Maybe my best shot on playing.
Cool. Go, baby. Short practice into that. I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly where I want to be.
And Yuli's shot is fading down into the left. Wysocki is up on the first tier here. And Terry finds himself near Ricky. Not much breeze through the tunnel here as Alex hangs wide to the right. I'm guessing there's some advantage, Alex being the most local here, as to some strategy as to out to the right hand side. And we just have one hole to play as we move down the fairway here on hole 21. It's been a great morning out here in East Bethel, Minnesota, as we've been bringing you the first round of the 2016 Minnesota Majestic, this PDGA A-Tier and Disc Golf Pro Tour stop. Ulibarri is going to check the wind up by the basket as he's about 6, maybe 8 feet inside the circle's edge, putting him at approximately 25 feet from the pin. And Paul's going to do another check of the wind here. Very tough to say as we are in a hallway-like area. And a great putt by Paul Ulibarri. Again, 25 feet uphill. He's going to move off this par 4 with a birdie. And a slight misfire here by Terry. Great effort there by Geisinger, who's also going to take a birdie 3. Wysocki looking to do the same. Three birdie 3s and a par by Terry. We're going to move over to the freshly resodded, redesigned hole number 22 in just a few moments for our final hole. First, let's listen to a word from our sponsors. Stay tuned because you're watching the 2016 Minnesota Majestic.
You know, the way I sort of think about it, like you get in the lead and there's a part of you that wants to be like, oh shoot, I'm in the lead, this makes me nervous. But I usually just sort of think like, do I envy anyone else in the field? You know, like, sure, it's pressure to be in the lead, but would I rather be in 10th? No, I mean, whatever, you know, so you don't really have a choice. So at that point, then I can kind of just sort of breathe and relax about it because I'm happy that I played well enough to get to where I am. Just because you're in the lead doesn't guarantee you anything. You just want to go out and stick to your guns and just see if you can come out on top.
The only time that I adjust my play based on scores is like probably I would say 6 holes to go in a final round. I don't think about it starting off on a tee ever because so much can happen, especially with disc golf. We have so much OB out of bounds, and it just, you could have a 3-stroke swing at any given moment, even on a hole that's you think is a birdie hole. I mean, the way discs come into the baskets and roll, it's just, you literally cannot give up until the last putt's in. And so I feel like even if I have a 2-stroke lead, I still am playing conservative, but, you know, aggressive when I feel that I can.
And welcome back, everyone, as we are standing here on the tee. I'm with Paul Ulibarri, and there seems to be a discussion with both, well, Alex Geisinger as well as Ricky Wysocki as to the exact rules. They're going to get a clarification as we're watching the card in front of us, the 8 o'clock card. Putt out looked like James Conrad, I believe.
Yeah.
Looked like some have maybe heard earlier that Steve Dodge had picked him as one of the dark horses. He seems to be playing very well. Yuli, do you know much about him?
Yeah, actually, I met him a long time ago at my first ever Am World. We played in juniors together. And he's just kind of come up the ranks really fast. I think he's out of Virginia.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, rated 1,004, and we've seen him now a couple times on the Pro Tour. And for a person who's not necessarily a household name, he's sure changing that this year.
Yeah, and you know, he's got great style, and I think a lot of people in the game can relate to him. And his dad actually was an avid golfer too, a very good Masters player. His name was Jim Conrad. I don't know if you've heard of him, but yeah, no, James is a good kid, and definitely we're all happy to see him out here being successful.
And Macbeth not having the opening round we know he was looking for here today certainly has struggled. Yuli, you just mentioned style a minute ago. You can't get on camera without somebody talking about your hair. Can we just put it to rest? You love it. Lots of people love it. Can we put that to rest?
Yeah, you know, as long as I like it, I don't really care what people say.
Good. I'm good with that, too. It seems to be the number one topic of discussion when you're out here playing and performing well. That's what we can focus on, as much as I do like to rib these guys about various styles and choices. Ricky has switched off of his... oh, and there's a putt by Danny Polk that somehow comes out. I was mentioning a moment ago, Ricky has changed up from his rally cap. Seems to have gotten his back in his stroke a little bit. And in just a few moments, we're going to be live with our featured card as you're watching the first round here at Blue Ribbon Pines. Hole number 22 at 310 feet. This island area all resodded just in the past few days. And Alex challenging some of Yuli's putts here today. Yuli's on the tee.
I think you're up like 7 on the takes. Yeah, 7.
And if that can stay on its line and just drop. Great shot by Paul Ulibarri. Very happy with his effort there. Looking for a strong finish here on hole 22. Geisinger has a mid-range in his hands. And Wysocki going with a harp, I believe, and he is short and left.
Oh, it's big, nice.
On the basket. Terry.
Nice shot, dude.
Great shot that held the line. Yuli calling for the ace here.
Yeah, we just reordered.
I've hit every other one. Not this one. Yeah, not this one.
As we move down the 22nd hole here during our opening round, we of course would like to thank all of the amazing broadcast supporters and sponsors that we've had throughout this entire Disc Golf Pro Tour season. All of these sponsors making this tour a reality. We'd like to thank Steve Dodge for the vision and the courage to go and put together everything he has with the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We invite you guys to tune in for the next 2 afternoons as we'll be bringing you the leader card action right here from Blue Ribbon Pines. And Geisinger's putt with a left to right wind just carries right. And Wysocki's on line, however, just short. And with a tailwind putt, Uli needed just a little bit higher of a release there. He's going to have to settle for a par here on the final hole of the round. And Terry will have the lone remaining opportunity here at a birdie. And left side pocket where Uli's been putting him in all day. Terry's able to take the birdie too. Solid finish. I believe he birdied 4 of the last 5 holes. Wysocki will tap in off in the distance. I see Ricky. Correction, I see Shasta Chris, and I saw Jordan Castro teeing as they're just going out for their round. We're going to catch up with one of these competitors, if not a couple of them, in a few minutes. We're going to wait for them to grab their scorecards. Stay tuned. We'll be back. You're watching the 2016 Minnesota Majestic.
Flashlight LED disc golf discs just changed the game. The unique Disco Select feature allows everyone to choose their own color by simply pressing the middle button, then pressing it again during the first rotation of colors when the one you want appears. Or you can leave it in disco mode, rotating through the 6 different colors for the duration of your game. Designed by serious professionals, crafted from Night Eye's unrivaled sure grip material, and featuring Night Eye's patented fiber optics array, these discs strike the perfect balance of durability, stability, performance, and just plain awesomeness. With easily replaceable batteries and an uber-long life, the Flash Flight driver, mid-range, and putter will shine as they blaze your path to victory, day or night. Night Eyes. Discover your solution.
Legacy Discs and Upper Park Designs have collaborated to bring you this new edition Rebel backpack bag. The Rebel has a 25 disc capacity with vertical and horizontal storage. The bag is lightweight and very functional, one of the best on the market. Pre-order yours now through discgolfblackmarket.com and you will receive a limited edition stamp of our long-awaited disc, The Enemy. I'm Steve Rico, and I approve this message.
Legacy!
Welcome back, everyone. I am joined with one of our featured players in Paul Ulibarri. And Paul, talk a little bit about the round out there today.
It went pretty smooth. We had a really good group. I think we all grooved really well. Terry kind of struggled a little bit, but he finished his round with a couple really good holes, and yeah, altogether I think we played pretty smooth.
Yeah, you're right. We saw a few ups and downs. We saw Alex off to a hot start, but then maybe cool down a little bit. And then, like you mentioned, Terry was struggling a little bit. I think he birdied 4 out of the last 5. Right. We'll have to check you, Disc, of course, but all around. And then it seemed like the group had a good, fun camaraderie, good flow, and you guys got along really well, joking with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fun playing with Rick. You know how he gets in his zone, and Alex is playing hot this year, so it was fun to battle with him. And I think he actually had the best score on the card with a 62, followed by me with a 63. So I think all in all, a pretty good round.
And anything you're going to change up for tomorrow? Anything you need to clean up, or your putts seem to be pretty solid? Anything else you need to clean up?
No, I like the way I played. Hopefully, I can be a little more aggressive on the par 4s, but I mean that could get you into trouble. So par's good.
All right. Well, it's great seeing you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for having fun out there. And speaking of hot rounds, I don't know if this is going to get bested today. We're going to bring in Nate Sexton in just a second here, and I got to ask. I'm not going to let you off the hook. Did you put him in your top 4 on the fantasy picks?
I didn't. No. So I'm going to have to beat him.
Awkward. All right. Thanks, Paul. We'll see you next time. Thanks. All right. And bringing it in, we've got Nate Sexton shooting a 56. You played all 22 holes?
I did. Yeah. I don't know. I got through it.
Wow. Talk a little bit about it before you do. Thanks to Jamie over on the West Coast. He said you had, I think, only one time where you had 2 pars in a row.
Really?
Yeah, that really. So you didn't know. Tell us what you thought of the round.
It was good. I had 12 2s, 2 4s, missed 1 in the circle, made 1 outside the circle. So it was just pretty solid. I made a lot of like 27 footers, like solid, nice putts. Obviously, it was getting off the tee great. Feeling good vibes in the group, so it was a fun day.
And talk a little bit about the Blue Ribbon Pines course. It does have 27 permanent holes, but we're in a 22-hole configuration. That's probably going to be the course record with that solid play. Talk about this course and what you think of it.
Oh, man, great property. I would love to see what could happen if we played an 18-hole layout here because, as you can see, you know, I played awesome, but still I don't like to see 17 down for 22. So the course is a little soft. By professional standards, I think. It still has some tough spots, but I would like to see some more length, use this great property, and get an 18-hole pro layout. Not necessarily change what they have, because I'm sure the people here love this, and I love it too. It's a great course, awesome place to have people come out and have an awesome, really fun time playing disc golf. But I think it could be even tougher.
Well, you're not usually going off this early in the morning. Usually we have the open divisions going off a little bit later.
Yeah.
Are you going to have an advantage as the wind might pick up this afternoon?
I don't know. I would be surprised if anyone can beat that number because I didn't make very many mistakes. So, you know, if the wind does pick up, then certainly. I mean, we had a little bit of wind as well. Nothing crazy. Kind of like similar to this. This last hole was a bit blustery. But yeah, maybe slight. I don't know.
All right. Well, this is Nate Sexton. He's your leader in the clubhouse right now. As he said, he played nearly flawless golf. Somebody's going to have to play really absolutely perfect golf to get ahead of him on the leaderboard. We're looking forward to seeing him tomorrow. For everyone out there, we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. We mentioned all of our sponsors and our fearless leader in Steve Dodge. Also, all of our camera crew, including the new guy that stepped in Justin. We got Gary to the O. We've got Joe Height, Johnny V back at the controls, Jamie on the West Coast, Drew Gibson for stepping in and talking to us, and this is our leader, Nate Sexton. Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, we're signing out. We'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon for the second round of the 2016 Minnesota Majestic.
All right.
Maybe. I mean, it might.